So today I'm in the Aston Martin DBX and we're going to be taking a look at the car, reviewing it and sharing my thoughts. Initial impressions and I guess just a summary of this video and my opinion in general. You just cannot help but smile and have such a great time driving this beautiful car, and everybody else appreciates it. See, I don't know if you caught that. That guy liked it. I've had a few compliments. Everyone loves the look of this car, and while you're driving it, you're going to have a fantastic time. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like on it, maybe comment in the section below, and subscribe to the channel for more. Let's dive in. So obviously the DBX is Aston Martin's answer to an SUV. I guess it's sort of an equivalent to the Lamborghini Urus or the Bentley Bentayga. Aston Martin has told me that this is rated and it is suitable to go off-road, although if you're driving a 200 grand SUV, you probably aren't going to take it off-road. I did go off-road a little bit, like pretty trepidatiously on some gravel, little dirt tracks and a little bit of grass, but you know, I was very, very careful. And this thing did feel as smooth as hell in terrain mode, going over bumps, undulations, unstable ground. It did drive really, really smooth. And you'll notice that smoothness when you're driving the car in everyday mode. GT mode is incredibly smooth for your everyday driving, and even in Sport and Sport Plus mode, where you sort of get the sport suspension switched on, everything's still really, really smooth. This car feels incredible, even though it's pretty low to the ground for an SUV. When you're going around corners, this thing absolutely grips the road like it doesn't want to let go, so you can take corners far faster than you would in another car. It's almost crazy that this is an SUV when you consider the fact that you can go from 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. Driving it, the sound of it, the feel of it, the speed of it, it feels like a sports car. And I suppose it is a performance SUV, so that's what you'd expect. But from such a big and heavy vehicle, it's just really, really surprising. I absolutely love the interior of the cabin. I feel like it's really quite premium. This metal piece here over the center console is really, really gorgeous. And all the leather trimmings throughout are fantastic. Just look at the Jesus rails up here. I mean, they're made out of leather. There's no plastic in sight. It is spectacular. And look at this armrest. It slides forwards and backwards. And it's just sublime. Whatever you're doing driving, you can just reach it down here. Everything's a button, not just a button, a knob, a spinning wheel. They're all metal and tactile. Even the indicator just feels incredibly tactile and responsive. Like I'm in control of this vehicle that I'm driving. You don't get that from a lot of cars these days, especially EVs. Well, this is one, but I absolutely adore it. I do happen to be using CarPlay Ultra on this, which is exclusive to the latest iPhone update. It's only available on this car right now. I did do a deeper dive into CarPlay Ultra, so if you'd like to check that out, just click the card up here. I'm currently in Sport Plus mode with the Sport exhaust and Sport suspension on, so let's just switch it onto GT mode for the moment, just while I'm cruising around town, and then we'll really loosen it up. So you can see, I don't know if you can see it out the front, but the nose of the car does slightly lift up along with the rest of it. That is the suspension I talked about. You also, I don't know how well you can hear the exhaust through the microphone, but that is noticeably quieter now that I'm in GT mode. Things do feel a little bit stiffer, more secure, like you're in for a more comfortable ride. You don't quite feel the lumps and bumps and turns of the road as much. The suspension is stiffer, keeping you straight, upright, and avoiding moving you too much. I guess that's just what you'd want for a comfortable ride in GT mode. That's what you'd expect. Don't mistake me though, everything is still incredibly responsive and this car can still go if you put your foot down. Speed limits here. We still got a bit of a wriggle on there when I put my foot down. This thing isn't slow by any means when it's in GT mode, but it is noticeably slower off the mark than in Sport Plus mode. If you are putting your foot down, you're also not going to be as aggressive on the RPMs. It's not going to try and redline it as it would in Sport Plus mode. I'm going to switch into Sport Plus mode now because we're about to hit a much faster speed limit earlier. I'm just going to slow down a bit so I can really put my foot down now when we get to the faster zone. So if I put my foot down, you can see just how incredibly quick that was, and I really, really hope the microphone picked up just how fantastic this car sounds. Oh, it makes me smile, it's going to make you smile, it's going to make other people smile, it's going to make your passengers smile. It is just an amazing vehicle. You cannot help but have a big, cheesy, stupid grin on your face while driving. Like I say, in Sport Plus mode, handling is exceptional. I know we're just going around a roundabout here, but the steering really lightens up. The suspension doesn't feel quite as stiff, it's a little bit looser. You feel like you've got a bit more flexibility in the car. What the hell was going on there? You've got a bit more flexibility in the car to do whatever you want with. It is a shame we've got someone in front. I'm just going to slow down, there's no one behind me in sight. Okay, I figured we'd just do a quick 0 to 60. I hope that sounds as fantastic on the microphone as it does in real life, because that is just an incredible, incredible sound. The car in Sport Plus mode really wants to get those revs up. Like I say, you're almost redlining. The upshifts are incredible, very responsive, sort of delayed until you can get those revs up. Downshifting, I have noticed while driving, isn't quite as good. When you're slowing down a bit, sometimes you do hear the rev because it downshifts a little bit early and you're in quite a high rev zone. I guess that's because you're in Sport Plus mode, and maybe, I don't know, I guess it's not expecting you to slow down quite so gently. If you're in Sport Plus mode, I guess if you're on a track, you're going to do sharper braking, right, as you come into the turns, so maybe it's more attuned for that. It's just a little something I've noticed. Obviously it doesn't impact your driving whatsoever, it doesn't impact the car, it's not dangerous, it's not bad for the car, it's just a little something I've picked up on. I do think the blue on the outside of this car is spectacular. For some reason everyone likes giving me blue cars. I've had a Tesla Model 3 Performance in blue, the Maserati Grecale Folgore was obviously in blue, and now this in blue. Clearly people that have fast cars enjoy giving them to me in blue for whatever reason, but I think it's a really rather nice blue. And this is going to sound really stupid, but running my hand across it, the paintwork felt really smooth. I don't know if that's just me being drawn into the Aston Martin premiumness, but that's how it felt, in my opinion. Of course, the interior of the car matches with this blue leather upholstery. There's blue stitching on the dash here with the black leather, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, I am slightly disappointed that Aston Martin didn't give me the racing green model, because they are chef's kiss, but I can't complain too much because, you know, I'm in an Aston Martin DBX and I've got a big stupid grin on my face. Okay, so this road is notoriously not very even, and just feeling that it seemed to handle it like a champ. You did notice the undulations, you did notice the movement in the road, but it felt so incredibly light and smooth, like you're just gliding above the surface of the road, and that's still in Sport Plus mode. This is everything you'd want from an SUV and a performance car, all in one. Honestly, this thing is perfect, and I have been absolutely beyond convinced that I need one, even though it's a little bit out of my budget. I will say that I'm just slowing down here slightly to demonstrate, because of how heavy this car is, when you take your foot off the brake, it does take a while to slow down. Now yes, I'm probably a little bit used to one pedal driving in electric cars, but I believe because of the weight of this car, it does take particularly quite a while to slow down. Okay, so now that we're on a bit more of an open road, we can really let loose. Still in third gear at 70 miles an hour, really to get those revs up. What could you want from a performance car? What else? I'll wait. Now, I used to own a Jaguar E-Pace as an SUV, and I've driven a few trucks and other SUVs, the Cybertruck being a notable example of that. And I've got to be honest, this is perhaps the most fun I've ever had in an SUV, and it's perhaps the best ride I've ever had in an SUV, and it's because of the incredible performance that Aston Martin has packed into this beast of a car. Now, I don't know about you, but I think it's high time we got out of the car to have a look at it properly, to give the inside and the outside a good, proper look.
The Aston Martin DBX packs a twin-turbo 4.0 litre V8 under the hood. That's actually a bigger engine than the McLaren Artura, which I'll be driving next week, and allows for that insane 0 to 60 miles per hour speed. It delivers around 542 horsepower and roughly 516 pound-feet of torque. You've got all-wheel drive keeping things planted, an 8-speed automatic that shifts smooth and quick, and a suspension setup that walks that line between comfort and razor-sharp agility. Inside, you still get that luxurious leather-wrapped cabin, customizable ambient lighting, and a 10.25-inch infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay and a solid Harman Kardon sound system that sounds pristine. There's enough torque top tier GT presence, and a refined tech to make you feel like royalty behind the wheel. And that's just what you'd expect from an Aston Martin. If you like this sort of content, please drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I've been Connor, this has been the Aston Martin DBX, and I'll see you in the next one.